actually pretty fun. I got to see it 3 years in advance with my brother, and then for me it was a little more intense. I'd had a little bit more success in the juniors, so it was fun to make a huge box of all the letters and envelopes and things from all the different colleges, and I was so happy that pretty much every college I could ever think of that I wanted to go to sent me letters, and then the recruiting calls started. I believe it was July 1st was the first day they were allowed to contact me, and I definitely remember getting a call that first morning of July 1st. I did some overnight visits, so I was scheduled for 5. I ended up doing 4: Harvard, Notre Dame, North Carolina, and UPenn. The 5th one was scheduled for Georgia Tech. My dad made me cancel that because I had, at that point, pretty much decided on Harvard or North Carolina, and he didn't want me to go anywhere where I didn't feel like I really could see myself going. Well, because I wasn't confident I had the option to go the pro route. I didn't realize my potential. I didn't realize how good I could be or how I ended up playing on the pro tour. I really planned on going to college for 4 years when I was going through the recruiting process. My plan was to go for 4 years. I had hoped I would be good enough to, at the end of 4 years, turn pro, maybe play some lower level events, and maybe pay my way to travel the world for a few years and then settle down and get a real job. Things happened kind of quickly for me. I got a lot better. I started improving, and it became a little bit more of a reality that I had the opportunity to turn pro. And so then I really focused in my second year on either going pro or staying for all 4 years. I wasn't going to go for 3 years and turn pro because I felt like if I invest 3 years, I'm going to go the whole way and get my degree and have that to fall back on if tennis doesn't work out. And the second year, I did pretty well. I ended up finishing #1 in the country and had won a pro tournament in my spring, sort of like my Christmas break. So I felt like it was time for me to turn pro. So I really needed the 2 years at college, though. For me, physically and mentally, it was a huge step. My initial advice is, unless it's pretty plainly obvious, I think college is a no-lose situation. I think in tennis, people like Andy Roddick, who was already winning pro events at 17 years old, Sam Querrey, who was winning pro events at 18, 19 years old, it was pretty obvious they didn't need to be in college. They were already mature physically. I'm still not sure Andy Roddick is mature mentally, but he was mature enough to be on tour, and those guys were ready. It was obvious. Anyone else, I feel like it doesn't hurt to go for a year at least, because if you prove to yourself that you can dominate on the college level, then you go to the pro tour with peace of mind. You've dominated every level, then juniors, college, and now it's time to go pro. And you don't lose anything, in my opinion, because you get free training for a year. You get great competition. You get great camaraderie. I honestly really feel like being a freshman in college really helps you because it humbles you a little bit. Because even if you're #1 in the country, you're still carrying the seniors' bags. You're still the one that's getting the worst seat on the bus ride and doing all those things. And I think that does help you and keeps you a little bit more grounded. Even so, even when you're on the pro tour, if you have, no matter how much success you have, those seniors there, they'll always kind of have that sense of camaraderie and that feeling of like they made you carry your bag and their bags. And that's I really think it helped me to mature and grow up. And I think if it's not 100% obvious that you should be on the pro tour, going to college and picking the right school, picking the right coach, the right program that you think can help progress you towards that pro tour, I think it's going to help a lot. And if the worst case scenario, that's why I say it's a no-lose situation. The worst case scenario is you get a great education, you get to play tennis, you get a great group of friends most likely, and you end up with a college degree at the end of it. My favorite part about being on a team was really the car rides, the van rides, like getting to know all the other teammates, and we just had so much fun. We would, we'd be together through sort of thick and thin at practice and at matches and tough losses and big wins, and then we'd go out and celebrate together, and we all just became so close and such good friends. I stay in touch with a lot of the guys still, and those kind of moments where you're on the court and you're yelling out, cheering for your teammate that's right next to you. I happen to be lucky enough to have my brother usually on the court next to me, and supporting that. And even on tour, you really never get that feeling. You never get that feeling of supporting others right next to you and them supporting you. So it was a really, really special feeling, and it's one that I just can't really duplicate. And I have really fond memories of those 2 years. Eventually, right around the time recruiting started being possible, that July 1st, I had started having a lot more success. And I think sort of the growth, the fact that I went from being a pretty good player in New England to an okay player nationally to a better player nationally to one of the top players nationally, the fact that I was growing and continuing to improve as I got older, I think that really helped, because you see a lot of guys that maybe grow when they're young and they're just bigger and stronger. They might not be as talented, but they're able to win when they're younger, and then they kind of stall and they don't have that sense of improvement. And I feel like coaches notice when someone's showing a lot of growth and a lot of improvement, and I think it shows them that the potential is still there to continue improving. And I hope they saw that, and I think the ones that recruited me really stressed that when they were talking to me, that they felt like I could improve at their programs.